Greetings all. Today we're just going to do a real short video here on the cult of dispensationalism or something. I've had a couple of people say that, dispensationalism is a cult and people have, well, you're got different gospels for different people and, there's only one true gospel, so you're a cultist and all this other stuff. Well, there sort of is different gospels for different people. I mean, I wouldn't use the term gospel. I would use the term God just dealt with different people at different periods of time. And if you don't believe that, then you don't believe that there's an Old and a New Testament. You can't. You have to say that the entire Bible is for me. And, heretics out there like Mike Hoggart and people like that call themselves Baptist, Christian, whatevers, they believe that, the entire Bible is for them. And, yeah. The natural thing that I'm going to say then is if you don't believe that there is a difference between Jews and Gentiles or between Old Testament and New Testament, then why aren't you Seventh-day Adventists? Because you got one of the commandments in there that says you can't work on Saturday. Well, Jesus died on the cross, so we don't have to do that anymore. Well, guess what, buddy? That's a different dispensation then, isn't it? If something that happened before Jesus died no longer applies today, that's called a dispensation. Now, I know, dispensation is a big word. I mean, a lot of people have never heard of it. I didn't hear about dispensations until I started listening to, like, Brian Denlinger and Peter Ruckman. But it's pretty simple. There's a difference between what God was doing way back in the start of the world with Adam, and then what God was doing with David, and what God's doing with the Jews, and what God's doing with the Gentiles. And the main question I have is, how were the Gentiles saved in the Old Testament? Because God's really only dealing with the Jews. So what happened to all those Gentiles? I have no clue. I have absolutely no clue. But there is definitely a difference. Today, we're all saved by grace through faith on Jesus. What happened to everybody else way back when? I don't know. It's a different dispensation. Different things going on. And when you decide that you're not dividing between even the Old and the New Testament, what you get is a lot of replacement theology heretics like Steven Anderson and a bunch of other people. The Seventh-day Adventists. The logical thing is that you have to replace the Jews if you don't have a separation between Old, New Testament, and the Jews and the Gentiles. If you don't, you've got problems, and you can't understand the Bible. Am I going to get killed for picking up sticks on the Sabbath? Now, while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man gathering sticks on the Sabbath day. And those who found him gathering sticks brought him to Moses and to Aaron, and to all the congregation, and they put him under guard, because it had not been explained what should be done to him. And the Lord said to Moses, the man must surely be put to death. God told him to kill him. Now, I go out and go to work on Saturday. Am I going to be put to death? No. It's a different dispensation. But apparently that makes me a cultist. Right? Right. So, I don't want to make a big, huge, long video. I'm kind of done making videos for a little bit. So, I just want to put this one out there to explain that, you are a dispensationalist if you believe that there's an Old and a New Testament. And there's a difference between what was going on before Jesus died and after Jesus died. There's a difference. It's obvious. And that would make you, by default, a dispensationalist. Okay? With that, I'm out of here.